Have you ever felt confident about your business and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, old thoughts start to show up? Those thoughts like, are you sure this is good enough? Are you sure you can actually help people? What if this doesn't work? Who do you think you are? Nothing changed in your alignment, but something shifted internally. And that moment right there, that was your brain trying to protect itself. You see, when your business is theoretical, confidence, it feels easy. But when your business actually becomes visible, when it becomes real, and when it becomes defined, your nervous system and brain, it starts to scan for all of the risks possible. And that's when belief misalignment shows up. So let's break down those frequent flyers that love to grace us with their presence. And we are going to break it down into 3 types that I see most often when working with high achieving, multi-passionate women. The first belief is identity beliefs. This is the tension between who you've been and who you're becoming. When you refine your niche, when you raise your standards, when you start to step into clearer leadership, your identity has to expand. And because of that, sometimes your internal self-concept, it kind of lags behind your external growth. You might start to think, am I really the kind of person who leads at this level? Can I actually claim this positioning? And that's identity catching up, which can be really scary because this is a new and unfamiliar territory. And this is also where we start to see that imposter syndrome creeping in. The second area that we look at is safety beliefs. Now, this is the protection layer that we have for ourselves. Visibility, it means exposure. Exposure, it means potential judgment. So even if you're consciously wanting to grow, your nervous system, it might interpret that expansion as a threat. And this shows up in different ways. It is holding back your message. Sometimes it looks like softening your voice. But ultimately, we don't feel as bold with what we're sharing because we're so nervous that we are going to be judged. And the important thing to understand here is that your brain, it's trying to protect you from growth, which actually seems a little backwards because that is what you are wanting to do. But your brain sees it as a threat. And so that is where this fear starts to set. And the third area of beliefs is your worth and capacity beliefs. These are the questions that come up where we ask ourselves, can I sustain this? Or can I handle all of this? You might wonder, am I actually good enough for this level? What if someone challenges me? What will I do? What if this works and I can't maintain it? Sometimes it's not fear of failure, it's actually the fear of holding success, which can stop us from taking that next step in our business. When these beliefs go unnamed, they start to slow your momentum. And as a result, you'll assume that it's a strategy issue. So you'll start to tweak your offer, you'll lower your price, you'll rework your messaging, or maybe you'll just completely start over. And then you get stuck because the real friction isn't external, it's internal. So instead of immediately rebuilding, just use this one simple tool. When doubt starts to surface, pause and ask yourself, if this works, what am I afraid it will mean? Not what you think you should say, but what you're actually afraid it will mean. And just write that first honest answer. And then after you ask yourself, if this works, what am I afraid it will mean? Ask yourself, is this an identity belief? Is this a safety belief? Or is this a work capacity belief? And just take a moment to name it, because when beliefs stay vague, they actually control you. But when they're named, they lose that intensity. And after you take that step, just take this last step. Ask yourself, does this belief belong to the version of me that I'm becoming? or the version that I've outgrown. And that's the big shift. That's what will help you go from start to finish. Foundation gives you structure. Heart ensures that structure fits. And mind ensures that you don't shrink when it comes time to expand. Always remember that sustainable growth isn't about eliminating fear. It's about not letting outdated beliefs dictate those current decisions that you're making. So this week, when that old voice shows up, don't panic, don't pivot, just pause. Name that belief, categorize it, and evaluate it, and then move forward with awareness. Because clarity isn't just about what you build externally, it's what you refuse to keep believing internally. And if you're ready to take things to that next level and start challenging those beliefs that are keeping you stuck, make sure you like this video and check out my free resources below, including our community where you can connect with others who are breaking barriers too. I'll see you in the final video next week.